actually Will Smith's house. We're in LA, but we're just kind of like actually a little north of LA. He just kind of likes living out like in kind of the middle of nowhere, so he can play his music as loud as he wants. So the Smith family lives up there. They're graciously letting us shoot here today, and every once in a while we'll just like hear some really loud jazz music playing from the house, but it's really loud, so we all have to like wear earplugs when he like gets in the mood to listen to music. So that's kind of like actually really frustrating, but at least we get to use the property. Now, a long time ago, this stream didn't exist. A little further that way, there's a glacier, and so many years ago, horses would walk back and forth, creating what this is here, instinctively knowing that in the future, men would want to come and collect the fresh water and bring it home to their families. And so, pre-knowing that, as the horses did that, it created what you see here today. Many years ago, the original Icelandic men would come through here to collect the fresh glacial water, but it would take a lot of time, and it would be a long journey from some of their families, and so in order to make it back, they would carve out these caves here in the side of the mountains.
Sarcastic. You've been telling her some of the facts, right?
Yeah.
Those are real facts.
Yeah. Only to realize after all of the construction and hard work that they did, they realized it's actually colder inside the cave, and that's what you now see before you today. Really interesting thing about the hills here in Iceland is that they're covered in this moss. Now, this moss takes a century to grow. That's 100 years. If you get caught ripping out the moss out of the ground or off of these rocks, the punishment is actually 4% of your paycheck that you earn has to go toward replenishing the moss on these rocks or these hills. Now, that actually carries over to your lineage. So if your son or grandson gets jobs, 4% of their checks get taken out too, until that century or 100 years is up and the moss is replenished into what you see here today. I decided to take a little hike through these cliffs in Iceland, and what's cool, I looked it up. Will Smith actually owns a house right through there, and I'm actually standing on his property now. We're probably going to actually shoot some of the video on his property. He was cool enough to let us do that, so that's kind of really what you see here today. If you pull out the moss, the penalty is 4% of your paycheck goes to replenishing the moss, but since it takes a century to grow, that carries on to like your kids and grandkids, and they also have to pay 4% of their paychecks until it's regrown. We're in Ukraine right now, shooting a music video. A little fact about this set. This is an old school that I actually used to go to back in high school. Being here kind of like brings back a lot of memories of that time. It's not a lot's changed, but they have added a little bit of extra elements, which is what you see here today. I used to go to school here in high school.
Oh,
Isn't that crazy?
Was that, did you say that Will Smith was your teacher for like a semester or something?
He was. I forgot to say that in my facts, but Will Smith was my biology teacher for a semester. They flew him out, and he was doing some community service. He got a speeding ticket, and he chose to pay for it back.
To teach biology in Ukraine.
In Ukraine. And he was a nice teacher, believe it or not.
Well, after all these years, you're back here.
I know, my alma mater.
What was your mascot?
It was a dolphin. Ukraine High Dolphins.
Since you're really close to an ocean.
Yeah. I pass this sign every day going to sociology class. This kind of just tells you, obviously, where it is. And then this just tells you where the dining room is. So going to lunch, I always got excited to look at this sign and read that and realize, let's eat some lunch. Back when I went here, this was one of the toughest rooms for me. This is the reading hall. I didn't know any Ukrainian, so I would just look at the books and pretend I was reading, and then the teachers would talk to me, but I had no idea what they were saying.
So the whole situation was really tough. And I think that's what this room reminds me of.
We're now standing outdoor on the campus of Ukraine High, where I used to attend school. And I just remembered senior year, all of us kids, we came out here and the last day we planted seeds for this tree. So it's really cool to come back and look at the growth of what's happened. And it really reminds me of that bond that we all had passing around the can of tree seeds and planting it in the ground. And now coming back, having the rewarding feeling of seeing what now you see here today. This is the Bandito camp. This is where we sleep and live. We're about to perform here with the burning car and torches and 50 banditos, flags, tents, torches, lamps, there's minimal showers. So we all smell really bad. We've been out here for a month, just getting character. But this is gonna be cool. And that's what you see here today. There's a room full of candles that we walked through, and we got too close to the candles. And
then the thorn bushes.
Yeah, those didn't help at all either.
And then there was just this thicket of thorn bushes that we ran through.
But like when we were walking, the shelf of candles was this high.
Yeah.
And then the thorn bushes, they were this high too.
Yeah, it's like thorn bush candles, and it just burnt and ripped. And
Yeah.
we're just like, we gotta get to the shoot.
Yeah, we gotta get there. And
gotta
it just
go.
progressively got worse and worse, and
Every
that's what
time.
you see here today. And then what happens is we go in the submarine, we perform in there, and then we get attacked. It's a super dangerous shoot because once we're underwater, the glass breaks, water comes shooting, and it's super dangerous. We only have a couple minutes to escape with the band and all of our camera gear, or else we sink forever and we die. You know, as a kid, I never really knew how they made, you know, movie or TV or music videos. And I always just thought that it was, you know, they went to the place where they were to shoot it. But in reality, everything that you see on TV is just green screen. And so if you look at this behind me, and the ocean and everything, it's all just green screen. So we're just in a warehouse. We're actually in Iowa right now, and that's what you see here today.